Can see him all right? Everybody good?
Good morning.
Okay, Coach, why don't you get us with a statement from the recap of records, and we'll go into Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, it's always good to go to the rack and win. Something we had not done in a long time, but I thought our preparation was spectacular leading up to that game. I thought we were very dialed in, very focused. I thought our defensive presence and focus was as good as it's been. If you took away live ball turnovers, I think defensively we would have, been just been sensational. But obviously the job on the glass that we hammered that. Guys took note, and it's very rare you out-rebound a team like that. So all that put together, along with some pretty good offense and moving the ball and sharing the ball, and obviously Terrence was great in all three facets of the game of on the offensive side, and it's great to see 10 rebounds out of him. So now it's the next challenge, and it is a challenge. Florida Atlantic, in my opinion, is as good a basketball team as there is in the country. This is the best passing team in college basketball, bar none. I haven't seen anybody even close to having the skill level of and the ability to pass. There's not a bad passer on that roster. Vlad Golden is, in my opinion, the real deal. He is an elite rim protector. He's a tremendous post-up option. And then they surround him with four guys that can all really shoot the ball. They're unselfish. Four guys in double figures. They've got depth, and then you have to score against them. And Vlad does a great job of protecting the rim. This team is very much like Marquette in their connectivity. They're just very connected. They don't make mistakes. They don't blow switches. They talk. They communicate. And I see as I dive into them why they were a Final Four team last year, and why they're ranked as highly as they're ranked. They're very good, and it'll be a great challenge for us as we head into the Garden tomorrow night.
Brad, your defense is one of the top-ranked teams in the country so far by the metrics, but how much does this Marquette game prepare you for Florida Atlantic, and how will they test your defense?
Yeah, very similar. Golden and Oso are different. Golden's a low block scorer. He's I'm not going to do him an injustice. He's an elite rim runner. He's just not Oso in that area. But they're both great rim protectors, but they all shoot it. I think they're a better shooting team than Marquette. They have multiple weapons. I think their ability to play fast like Marquette, it's going to be a big key in the game. They do an unbelievable job of getting the ball from one side of the floor to the other, making you move, they run a lot of blur screens and actions and try to confuse you, and you get sucked in that paint, and one of those guys is gonna hit you with a three. So our defense will be challenged, and it's one of those things that defense travels, defense wins games, and we're gonna have to be really good tomorrow.
Thanks,
Coach. What are some keys for your team? We heard about FAU and what they bring to the court. Was there enough time with this quick turnaround to learn some stuff from Rutgers that you can apply to Tuesday night?
Yeah, it's a little different game. Every game's got its own identity. I think it's Florida Atlantic plays faster. They're a team that could score 100 if you don't handle them in transition. Rutgers wasn't that team. I think I think one of the glaring things was our live ball turnovers. We had 4 turnovers in transition that we've got to eliminate. We've emphasized some of those things, and they weren't forced. They were just poor decisions, and we've got to clean those decisions up. But there was also a lot of really, really positive things, Doug, on the offensive side. And, some of the things we worked on, we just simplified and then let guys play in space and took advantage of some of our size at the guard spots. And that's stuff that it seems like positives for the future.
Brad, it seemed like Marcus was really able to hunt out some of those mid-post opportunities in the last game. How are you approaching that? Is that something maybe you dial up, or he gets a sense of the matchup and then goes into that? And how much of a value can that action be?
So he's going to be a huge value. I like it when there's some, we want to dial up. The other night in the Rutgers game, it was very much, I think one of the changes that we came up with was really being able to exploit matchups and putting guys in positions to have to guard, especially during switches. We were very successful in capitalizing on those. Marcus was a big recipient of a lot of those, playing into some post-up opportunities. Ty got a couple. Terrence actually got a couple on the perimeter where he had jump shots. And so it's that's a real positive thing for the future, but we know how effective he is, 15 feet in, and we've got to keep dialing him up there. But I like the fact he's finding them kind of organically through space.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach, last week Coleman talked about his knee, and it's probably going to be a long season for him. What was the prognosis after playing a game and some minutes? How is he health-wise moving forward?
Yeah, he's good. It's dedication, commitment, and understanding that to play the game, you're going to have some body aches, and you're never going to be 100% healthy, but you have to do everything you can to be as close to that as possible. And for him, he may have it the rest of his career. So you've got to maintain it. You've got to handle it. You've got to spend the time, the hours in recovery and rehab. He's doing that right now. You throw in the fact that Coleman's also had a couple of pretty severe ingrown toenails that he's had removed and been dealing with that as well. So the lower parts of his body have been pretty beat up here in the last 6 weeks. So, those, anybody who's ever had an ingrown knows how painful those can be, and he's had to have them, cut out. So, he's just got to maintain it. But his knee felt good, and we were pleased to see that because he didn't log a ton of minutes because of foul trouble in the first half, but came out of that with flying colors.
Thank you.
Brad, what'd you like out of your front court depth, specifically maybe getting Imani in a Big Ten road game off the bench like you did the other night?
Well, the best thing about it was we got him in the game. I think there's tremendous value in playing and having the opportunity to play in those games. He did some really good things offensively. He made a couple of mistakes defensively. But those are all teachable moments and things you learn from, and you get over that nervousness. And, I say this all the time, they're real games, when you're playing against other dudes who are pros and upperclassmen and been through it. And for Imani to go out there and do that was great. I thought that, Dane was really solid in the first half, and yet the way the game played out, Coleman was fresh. He didn't play a lot in the first half. His mobility, what we were doing offensively was just such that our front court was outstanding, and defensively, they're a big reason we're one of the top 2-point field goal percentage defenses in the country. And so I've been really pleased with that, with all three of those guys.
Brad, kind of similar vein. Dre obviously didn't need scoring the other night. And Justin and Ty played well, especially in the second half. Was Dre just a feel thing about not getting in the game?
Yeah. I think there's I think there's a lot of growth sometimes from not playing, and understanding that the preparation leading up to it is as vital and important a piece. Excuse me, guys. Is as important as anything, and just the way they play, the press. You know, I didn't go in with the mindset he wasn't going to play. It was just kind of the way that it played out, and then we started exploiting their lack of size with our size, and we just stayed bigger. And and then Justin was great.
Thanks.
One of the things about the Rutgers game seemed like to me was the right guys taking the threes. Was that by design? Was it a point of emphasis for you in practice leading up to the game?
It was more about the execution and the flow of offense, and we didn't take the contested 18 seconds on the shot clock shot. We drove it, we moved it, we got them in rotations, and we shot those shots in rhythm. And I've said all along, we're a really good shooting team, and when you shoot shots in rhythm like that, they're going to go down. And we were super efficient in the last 10 seconds of the shot clock. I think we had a 1.4 OER in the last 10 seconds. That gives the defense an opportunity to break down a lot, and we just kept staying with it, and we didn't panic. And I hope that's a sign of growth for us.
Brad, I know you were bullish on this team's connectivity going into the year. What have you seen through 7 games when it comes to that, both offensively and defensively?
Yeah, still am. I think our ceiling is we haven't even come close. We're starting to see us stack things, rebounding, and what we're doing on the defensive end, and committing fewer mistakes, and now we're starting to put some things together offensively, you've got to start stacking all of those categories to get where we want to go. And I still think we've got a lot of growth. I think we're still in the infancy stage because of Coleman's injury and him being out for a while. I think we still don't have a huge sample size of game time experience with him, but I think Draven's going to be a guy that's going to impact us. Obviously, Nico, his injury has set us back a little bit, but I just think there's a lot of room to continue to grow, and we've got a big ceiling, and I like that.
Thanks.
Okay, Matt, you'll finish us up. Go ahead.
Brad, not to suggest you didn't shoot it well at Rutgers, but what makes this team a little bit different to where maybe you can survive even on the road in Big Ten? Offensive nights and shooting nights that you don't make as many, and defensively, what makes this team different this year?
Yeah, I think our size impacts people. I think, it's if you put it in the right perspective, I don't know everybody saw Ty's dunk in transition. He put the thing behind his head and tore the rim down. How many point guards do that? There's a 6'6", 6'7" point guard that's really athletic that is an elite defender, and I've said this many times, Terrence is the best in the country in my opinion, and you'd be hard pressed to find a better defender. So you had Quincy, who's turned into just a stopper in practice. Every day he wants to guard Terrence, he wants to guard Draven, he wants to take that challenge on himself, and now we've Luke's been phenomenal. So you start putting those pieces together, and we say it all the time, defense has to travel, and you win championships with defense, you win games with offense, and rebounding's another one. And as we collectively grow our toughness, that's how we have to win. We have to, some nights it's not going to be pretty, and some nights it'll be mucked up, and that's fine. We have to muck up a game to figure it out how to win. But I like our size, our athleticism, and we're collectively as a team becoming quite a bit tougher.
Okay, that'll